What if I told you that the most terrifying alien encounter in recorded history didn't happen in Roswell? It happened in Brazil. Imagine being inside your own home. Doors locked, windows shut, the night completely still. Then, a beam of light pierces through your roof, not breaking it, not burning it, passing through it, as if the walls, the ceiling, the physical matter of your home simply did not exist. It strikes your chest. You cannot move. You cannot scream. You can only feel something leaving your body, slowly, deliberately. This is not a Hollywood script. These are the exact words of hundreds of victims. In 1977, the remote island of Colares, deep in the Brazilian Amazon, became a hunting ground. Doctors arriving at the local clinic were stunned. Their patients showed no signs of violence, no bruises, no fractures, just perfect, circular burn marks, surgical in precision, appearing on skin with no explanation. The locals had a name for whatever was doing this. They called it the Chupa-Chupa. The thing, that sucks. As the panic spread beyond the island, the Brazilian military could no longer ignore it. They launched the largest and most classified UFO investigation in their nation's history. Operation Saucer. A specialized military team was sent in, led by Captain Varginha, Holanda, armed with cameras, radar equipment, and orders to document everything they encountered in that jungle. What they found defies every framework of human logic. Silent crafts, moving without sound, some shaped like massive cylinders, others like spheres of pure light. And they weren't lost. They weren't random. They were watching, returning to the same locations, the same people, night after night. It wasn't a sighting. It was deliberate surveillance. Operation Saucer produced over 2,000 pages of classified documents, 15 hours of film footage, detailed technical sketches drawn by military personnel who saw these objects with their own eyes at close range. For 20 years, that evidence was buried. Then, in 1997, Captain Holanda finally broke his silence. In a rare interview, he looked directly into the camera, and he said, "Those were intelligent beings." Within months of that interview, a Holanda was found dead, inside his own home. The official report called it suicide. For 20 years, Varginha Holanda said nothing. Then in 1997, he agreed to speak, not to a journalist, not to a network, to a small group of Brazilian ufologists who had tracked him for years. The interview lasted 7 hours. He described nights when the objects approached the soldiers directly, close enough that when the team pointed their flashlights upward, the objects responded, as if acknowledging the signal. "We were not alone in the jungle," he said. "Whatever was up there, it was aware of us, more aware of us than we were of it." He called it a dance. The craft moved when the soldiers moved, stopped when they stopped. And then, in the final hours, Holanda said something the ufologists were not prepared to hear. On at least 2 occasions, what they observed outside the craft was not a machine. It was a figure, standing, looking back at them. He wasn't willing to call it contact, but he wasn't willing to say it wasn't. 6 weeks after the interview ended, Holanda was found dead inside his own home. He was 54 years old. No note, no prior signs of distress. He had just agreed to a follow-up interview. The man who had faced the jungle, the lights, the figures, died quietly. alone, in his apartment. The official verdict: suicide. The ufologists who recorded those 7 hours are still alive, still waiting for someone to explain what he told them. The tapes exist, the transcripts exist, and the silence around them keeps growing. Operation Saucer didn't just produce words, it produced photographs, hundreds of them, shot by trained military personnel on military-grade equipment. Holanda's team photographed the objects directly. The shapes matched what witnesses described: cylinders, spheres, beams of focused energy aimed at precise targets on the ground. The photographs were classified the moment the film was developed, sent to Brasilia, filed, buried. Then, in 2004, the Brazilian government released a portion of the archive. Over 4,000 pages of documents and photographs, taken by military cameras, showing objects that no aircraft designation in any Air Force manual could explain. Not one government asked Brazil to explain what was in those photos. And for every photograph they released, the inventory shows 3 that weren't. Now look at Varginha, 1996. A different city, a different state, but the same pattern. Creatures reported in the streets, glowing red eyes, witnesses describing something that moved like nothing natural. And within hours, a complete military lockdown. Soldiers, ambulances, roads blocked, no official explanation given. Was Varginha a mistake, or was it a recovery operation of biological entities the public was never supposed to see? One incident is an anomaly. 2 incidents is a coincidence. But how many times does the pattern have to repeat? The sightings, the evidence, the witness, the silence, the death, before we stop calling it coincidence and start calling it protocol. They are still watching right now. In 2017, the United States government quietly admitted what it had denied for decades. A classified Pentagon program called AA-TIP had been studying UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, for years. In 2023, a decorated intelligence officer testified before Congress under oath. He claimed the U.S. had recovered non-human craft, non-human biologics. He was not laughed out of the room. Brazil didn't wait for 2023. In 2004, 19 years earlier, the Brazilian Air Force had already released over 4,000 pages from Operation Saucer. Photographs, witness testimonies, military logs from the jungle. No other government asked for an explanation. The documents appeared and were quietly filed by everyone who should have demanded answers. What Operation Saucer documented in 1977, the most powerful nation on Earth is still trying to officially confirm. Brazil saw it first. Brazil admitted it first. And Brazil paid for it first. Tell me your verdict in the comments. I read everything. If you are tired of the lies and want to see the files they haven't burned yet, subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next revelation might be the one they kill for. See you in the shadows.